the evidence, Darren Wilson has an extremely dangerous mindset. His resignation came too late to save Mike Brown's life, but other policemen should be checked for similar kinds of aggression that become racialized when their targets are African American people.
What needs to happen now, Professor Dyson, and what do you think of what President Obama is doing today at the White House, having this kind of summit with young civil rights leaders, talking about the issue of the militarizing of the police, as well as how communities of color can get along with law enforcement?
Well, that's all very necessary. I applaud the president for that. But again, when I made the analogy earlier about abuse and the communities that have been abused, let's not pretend that this is an equivalence. You know, there are no instances, there are not instances that we have been outraged about by attempts of broad communities to target police people and to constantly murder them, assault them, and the like. There are tremendous tensions that need to be discussed. Of course, the policing of communities is necessary given the extraordinary, difficulties in some communities and the crime in other communities. There's no doubting that. But to simply say, let's develop trust, the trust rests upon what? Resolution of conflict, of negotiating differences, and informing the police that they cannot be occupying forces in these African American and Latino communities and in these poor areas. So it's a matter of not only developing trust because we have to understand each other, we also have to tamp down on the lethal ferocity of police departments that have been over-militarized, under-trained when it comes to dealing with people of color, refusing to acknowledge their humanity, and that thin blue line that ostensibly separates police people from so-called civilian society has often been blurred, and the erratic and I think often dangerous practices of rogue cops or cops who don't have enough sensitivity about the humanity of people of color and others needs to be raised. So it's a good first step, but I think just like the Kerner Commission was convened by President Lyndon Johnson while the flames of Detroit, my home city, were yet burning, while there are embers of simmering tension in Ferguson yet, I think the president should impanel a commission to talk about police brutality in America and to understand its vicious consequences and what we can do to resolve it.
You really got into it with former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani on Meet the Press last week when he talked about the problem of police violence, he said, was a distraction from the real problem of black-on-black crime. It starts with Giuliani.
I find it very disappointing that you're not discussing the fact that 93% of blacks in America are killed by other blacks. We're talking about the exception here.
Well, look, first of all, go ahead, Mike. This is about a trust issue.
We are talking about the significant exception. 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks.
Let me respond to that.
I would like to see the attention. I'd like to see the attention paid to that you are paying to this, and the solutions to that.
He's taking up time. Can I say this? First of all, most black people who commit crimes against other black people go to jail. Number two, they are not sworn by the police department as a agent of the state to uphold the law. So in both cases, that's a false equivalency that the mayor has drawn.
Giuliani appeared later on Fox News and defended his argument. This is a part of what he said.
The danger to a black child in America is not a white police officer. That's going to happen less than 1% of the time. The danger to a black child, if it was my child, the danger is another black. 93% of the times, they're going to be killed by another black. And the idea that whites do not go to jail for killing blacks, first of all, only about 3% of whites kill blacks. They go to jail in approximately the same percentage as blacks go to jail. The conviction rate is almost exactly the same. The difference is it's a very rare exception when a white kills a black.
That's former Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Your response, Michael Eric Dyson.
Well, first of all, as Disraeli said, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics, and we end up having statistical myopia. What I didn't get a chance to say because I've got a host there, understandably, who's concerned about keeping the peace on the panel, so I'm being waved down by the host and hollered at, so to speak, by my opponent, and you don't get a chance under those conditions, unlike right here, to say what you have to say. One of the things that is necessary to say is that 84% of white people who are killed are murdered by other white people. Why aren't we outraged by white-on-white crime? Why aren't we talking about the vicious and insidious decline of moral stature in white America? Why aren't we talking about pathologies of white culture that lead to meth labs being generated on campuses, or the decline in moral imagination as exhibited in pop stars who are decried from pulpits across America in white culture? So we could develop a kind of tablet of demonology against white America, which would be ridiculous, because the problem is deeper and more profound than that. Intra-racial violence from in groups is endemic in America. So people kill where they live. They commit crime where they live. If you want integrated killing, you have to have integrated communities. Now, tongue-in-cheek there, the irony is the fact that Mr. Giuliani is unconscious of that, will not speak directly to that, because it would throw him off the scent of the trail of demonizing African-American people. Now, black people themselves are quite concerned about death in their own communities, in our own communities. Just yesterday here in D.C., a woman was on television, a black woman, asking for help in solving the murder of her son, and they had a videotape of or a recording of a man going into a building and then rushing out, who is thought to be the murderer of her son, and I think it's an African-American man, and there's no oh no, let's exempt him from moral critique because he's a black person. We are as outraged as anybody else by so-called black-on-black crime. We are enraged when black people kill black people, but let's not divorce the killing of black people by black people from broader cultural imaginations that have demonized black people. Black people watch a lot of television and consume a lot of pop culture, and the suspicion and skepticism of black identity pervades black culture as well.
Michael Eric
so
Dyson,
in one sense,
we have less than a minute on the satellite, and you raise in your column the issue of Bill Cosby, and I was wondering if you could just end on your concern about what has come out about him, the raping and mugging of a series of women over 40 years.
It's evil. It's horrible. It should be talked about. It should be dealt with. When I was demonized, when I dealt with it 10 years ago in my book, many black people waved me down and sent me away, saying that you're wrong by attacking a great figure like this. But what's hurtful to me is that while he's been accused of this raping and mugging, which is absolutely untoward and evil, at the same time, African American women were demonized by him in his own language before, and they were not protected. So both and, not either or.
Well, Michael Eric Dyson, I want to thank you very much for being with us, University Professor of Sociology at Georgetown University. We'll link to your piece in the New York Times, Where Do We Go After Ferguson?
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Eric Dyson on Ferguson, police brutality, and rape. You know, that's what's good about what we try to do here. You may not have heard that at all, but now you have heard it. You can go Google it. Go to democracynow.org. A very, very, very good website. Get a lot of information you don't get in the mainstream media. So what we try to do is to bring you information that you don't get in the mainstream media. That's all we try to do, ladies and gentlemen. We try to educate you. You know, there is a quote that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Yes. And you know what? That is going to be the so-more quote of the day. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Time check. The time is approximately 9:38 p.m. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And I always give you this song before we go. See you. Have a wonderful weekend. See you. Same Soma time, same Soma channel on Monday. Later.
So we're giving thanks to the Most High for all of His blessings, His guidance. Oh Lord, how great Thou art Thee. Thank You for blessing me expose all my energy, yeah, and molded talents in me. Now those on my head, I appreciate your gratitude, endurance, and faith. They stand in the line, want to intertwine, devour my body, soul, and mind. But my will is strong, they can't throw me down. With your guidance I will carry on. Oh Lord, every day I'm going to sing this song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. And I thank you for blessing me every day. And through the river walls, I will walk with you beside me, be unharmed cause you can find me, yeah. And when their kingdom falls, you'll console me from my distress. In your warmth of grace I will rest, yeah. No authority can remove me from your bubble. They will perish in their rubble, yeah. And if that false will falls, oh Lord, I will be lifted up to you, the Lord, and sing it. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. And I thank you for blessing me every day. And so I sing again. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. Hey. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. And I thank you for blessing me every day. Thank you for giving them love. Thank you for giving me all. Thank you for keeping my faith. Thank you for my faith.